What's going on, buddy? My name is Goth, and welcome to my next mega video. You guys seem to like the last one, so I figured I'd do another one. So in this video, I did a typo negative inspired look with the green eyeshadow and the green shirt with the spiked leather jacket. And so I figured it'd be fun to show you guys actually how I did this look, how I did the eyeshadow and everything else. But also, more importantly, I actually did eyebrows in this video, and I haven't done eyebrows yet in a video. So for everyone asking how to do eyebrows, you'll find on this one. So without further ado, enjoy. So this is voiceover Coven here, and first off, I'm going to start off with my primer. I always use the e.l.f. foundation primer first because it just makes my face a bit more smooth when it comes to applying the foundation. I believe that one is the actual poreless branded one, and of course I'm drying my hands like always. That way make sure nothing transfers over that I don't want. After that, I put my foundation on, and this is a foundation and concealer in one made by Balani. It is in the shade Porcelain. So I'm just going from my cheeks, out my nose, across my forehead and everything. When that's all on there and applied properly, I dry my hands from the foundation, that way I don't get anything else on there, and then I take my makeup sponge and start blending it out. Now the makeup sponge is already soaked, that way I don't have to do it on camera, but all I'm doing is just taking it, making sure I get into my hairline, and just kind of evenly blending out all of the makeup. That way it will be nice and pretty and look basically spotless. And don't forget to get onto your chin and your neck. You want to make sure your face matches your neck, because I've seen too many looks where they don't do that and it doesn't look good. So, but since I don't have any neck tattoos or anything, I always try to make sure it's a nice layer in between. Alright, and then once that's all applied, I'm going to take my setting powder and go apply it. And I'm back. There we go. I always have to cut that out, but because it makes a mess a little bit. But once all the setting powder is applied, I like to make sure all the loose hairs are off there and everything. And then I did get a new setting spray, so I had to jump that real quick. And then I'm just setting all the face real quick. That way nothing will move when I apply the actual eyeshadow or anything else like that. And here comes the drying. Trying as much as I can to dry this as fast as possible. Okay, now I'm just cleaning off my brushes real quick. Trying to make sure I got everything. I know you did see me open up a brand new eyeliner as well, so that's what I was struggling with because for some reason I couldn't get it open. Okay, grab some from there. Alright, come on, Coffin, you got this. We're going to grab that. So I guess first off, we're starting with the paint on my neck. So I use black acrylic paint. I recommend you don't do that because it's not proper. There's plenty of body-safe paints everywhere, but I just like the way this one looks, and since it's water-based, it's easy to apply and remove, so that's what I use. I still don't recommend it, but yeah, not gonna take my own advice, so. And I just wanna make sure I have a nice even layer on my neck, and I like to do that dabbing on the base of my neck to get that kind of flared look at the bottom. And just to kind of make sure I didn't miss anywhere. Okay, and we're done with that. There we go. We're looking all spooky. Okay, next step is going to be eyeshadow. But before that, we're going to grab a brush. Actually, the first step, I lied, is going to be eyebrows. So what I do for my eyebrows is I take a little bit of black eyeshadow on a small angled brush, and then I bend my eyebrows a little bit to see where they would start. So I kind of crease my eyebrows a little bit and do a simple line to where I want to start my brow. Put a bit more product on there, and then do one more. So after I do that, I like to do a general shape for the bottom first, and as a general idea, it's kind of just like the Nike symbol, just kind of a basic checkpoint or check mark all the way down, but I like to do the bottoms first. I do one eyebrow, and I try to make it match the other one as best as I can. Now, when it comes to eyebrows, everyone wants them to be the same. Realistically, you can, but it's very tricky. So as long as they're somewhat similar, you'll be fine, honestly. And with my hair being long, you don't really see much of it anyway. So if I mess up the wing or anything, it won't matter. Now I'm just going through, making sure they look good and they're even. Gonna tidy this one up a little bit more. And then I'm cleaning up the brush, making it nice and pointy again. And now I'm taking a little bit more black eyeshadow, and I'm doing the top of my eyebrow to make sure it has a nice even look. And I like my brows super thin. I don't like the super thick brows, so I try to make them as thin as possible without just being a straight line. And once I got one done, I try to go for the other one. And as you see, I kind of blend the top into the bottom part already. That way it gives a kind of normal eyebrow shape. Ooh, got crazy, yeah. So obviously eyebrows always stress me out. Now I'm taking my eyeliner and I am just going over the eyebrow shape I made with the actual eyeliner pen itself. And I'm being very, very careful not to mess up my lines because it is annoying to redo eyebrows over and over and over again. So with this process, just take your time and just relax. I got one done, I'm going to the other one. Start with the bottom, going down to the wing, and we're gonna move the top and kind of blend it back in like that. Now it's time to fill them in. This part is also not terrible, but it is a little tricky because if you mess up filling them in, it could mess up the whole brow itself. So just take your time, be very, very careful, and you'll be fine. And then after that, I like to take black eyeshadow, and I like to set my eyebrows as well. So just a little bit of black eyeshadow, just going over the top, kind of setting the eyeliner in there. That way it won't mess up, it won't smudge, and it'll stay pretty much in one place. Still recording? All right. Okay. Next step is going to be eyeshadow. So before I put on eyeshadow, I like to prime my eyes with eyeshadow primer. Sorry, I can't speak today. With eyeshadow primer. This one I believe is Urban Decay, but just a little bit on your finger and kind of dab it on your eyelid. You don't need a lot for this, so. And one for the other eye. There we go. Now we're looking pretty. Just gonna stab her eye 1,000 times. Okay, now let that dry a little bit. You don't want it to be like super soaked when you put on your eyeliner or your eyeshadow. You want it to kind of be dried a little bit, so. And by that point, it should be dry. So next point is eyeshadow, the fun part. Now I'm using a James Charles Morphe palette. It's honestly the only one I had that had good colors, so. But I'm gonna try to blend of those three. Realistically, I only used one of the colors. I used that darker green one, but you can use any of the three you want. Just any kind of dark green eyeshadow or green eyeshadow in general will look good. So I have a bit of that dark green on there, and I'm just applying it onto the upper part of my lid real quick. Trying to go around my actual eyelid itself, because I want to make that with a black eyeshadow, so I try to avoid that and just do green all around the actual eye itself. And as I'm applying it, I'm also blending it out a bit. I like to apply it and blend it with the same brush, because it just works better that way, and that's kind of how I learned to do it, so. But you are more than welcome to apply it with one brush and then blend it out with a fluffy blending brush. I just like to apply it with the blending brush. I think that's enough, and we're just gonna blend like crazy. So when it comes to blending, best advice, if you think you need to blend more, just keep blending. If you think you're done, blend more. When it comes to anything with eyeshadow, just blend till your heart's content, honestly. That way it's not just a solid crease in your eyeliner, it's just blend, 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 blend. As you can see, we're still blending. Because like I said, once you think you're done, you're not. So you're just going to keep blending more. Okay, now I'm going to clean off the brush. And we're going to go on to a bit more green. We are a bit more green. Okay, so I'm going to apply a little bit more green in there. That way it makes it a little bit darker. Man, I really wanted to make sure I blended it out. Jesus, okay. There we go. I think now we're done with the green. Now we're moving on to black eyeshadow. Yes, you're still recording, Coffin. Now we're moving on to black eyeshadow. Now this one I'm just going to be applying to the lid, the actual eyelid itself, as you can see. So when it comes to any black eyeshadows I use, I like to do a trio. I like to do like multiple black eyeshadows to give a nice dark tone to it. So I'm just taking the same eyeshadow I used for my eyebrows and just applying a base layer on the lid, covering as much as like humanly possible. Also kind of blending it up into the green itself. That way there's not a clear line between the green and the black. Gonna grab this palette, grab a little bit of black from this one, and do the same process. Just kind of going over what we did before, just darkening up all of the eyeshadow, and still blending it out, that way it looks good. And we're grabbing this one from Curse Cosmetics, we're grabbing this black eyeshadow, and we're doing the same process. Now we're going to the other eye. Again, just apply as much as you need, a blend to your heart's content, making sure there's no clear line between the black eyeshadow and the green eyeshadow, because that way it'll look very seamless in the transition. Doing a bit more of that. Just goes into the top layer. Now we're going to clean off the brush, and we're going to grab a flat brush and use this black eyeshadow specifically to not completely go over there, just kind of like add it as a top layer on everything, because this one is very pigmented and it will leave a lot of residue, so I try to make sure to use this as sparingly as possible, but it just kind of acts as a full concealer and kind of brings all of the shadows and everything together. I guess I used a little bit too much of the black eyeshadow, so we're going to go back over with the green just a teeny bit, blending it out as we go, just kind of making sure the color is there and stays. And back to blending, because like I said, once you think you're done blending, you're not. You look good, Coffin. Stop overthinking. There you go. Okay, next we are going to do eyeliner. So with this, I am going to start doing something new. I usually use cream eyeliner when I do like my waterline and stuff, but I've been using a pencil recently. So I just want to make sure I am cleaning everything off. Never mind, I lied. I'm using cream eyeliner. My apologies. Okay, but I see I'm pulling down my eyelid and just kind of filling in my waterline with that black cream eyeliner. Just kind of making sure to going over anything I missed. Having a bit more and doing the other eye, just carefully, that way I don't smudge my foundation or anything like that. Now, when you first do it, your eyeliner like this, it is a bit scary and a bit weird at first, but the more you do it, the more you get used to it, so. Okay, waterline is done. Put that away. Now we're going to use the same black eyeshadow I used for my eyebrows and the first layer of my eyelids to grab a small angled brush and just going over the actual bottom part of my eye as well. That way it'll seal the rest of it. Now for this, I don't like to go too heavy on it because I've done it before in the past and I end up looking like a raccoon or a panda. So I've learned with the bottom part of your eye, You want it to cover, but you want it to be as little as possible. That way it's not like a giant circle around your entire eye. It's like you have a lot of eyeshadow up top, and the bottom part is just barely kind of like accentuating the curve of your eye. And again, we're going to the same Curse Cosmetic with the black, and we're going to do the same thing. Because again, any black eyeshadow I use, or any part of my eye, or any part of my face, I try to layer it as much as I can to give it the best shape. And again, back to blending, because you know what they say, you're never done blending. And for blending, I'm just using a flat angled brush to get right into the crease of my eye and just kind of, well, blending everything out. It looks like I did miss some stuff, so I'm going to go back over with it and just kind of fill in any gaps the eyeshadow missed with the cream eyeliner. And once again, as a final layer, I'm going to use that same fluffy brush, just kind of packing in all of the black eyeshadow that I can on both the upper and lower parts of my eye. That way, the actual black eyeshadow is the darkest of everything. And now we are moving on to lipstick, which is the bane of my existence, almost as bad as my eyebrows. And I'm clearly running out of lipstick, so I'm going to do this the best I can. But I have a small angled brush, and what I do first is I actually make an X on the upper part of my lip. That way it actually gives the proper shape I want on the bow of my lip. Is it bow your lip? I don't know. Either way. And then I start from one corner of the mouth and work my way up to that X that I made. Kind of outlining the upper lip first. Grab a bit more lipstick. And then we're going to start with the bottom. I always like to start with the middle because of my piercing, so I start with the middle and then move to the sides, kind of blending everything out and making things as seamless and as careful as possible. Because like your eyebrows, the slightest bit of lipstick can just ruin the look. So now I'm carefully filling in my lips with the same lipstick, just trying to be as cautious as possible to go over my lines and fill in the lines as best I can without going over. It's just like coloring but for your face, so. I never noticed the faces I make when I put on lipstick, but I am now in this recording, so. Now I'm moving on to the lower lip after the top one's done, and I'm trying to fill in the best I can without covering my piercings in lipstick. If you do have a lot of piercings in your lips, do the best you can and then clean them off afterwards. That way it gives the best look to everything, so. Just getting as much lipstick as I can in there because apparently I'm really running out. Going over it 3 or 4 times because it's not wanting to come out. pop, 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 pop. I do that way too much when I put on lipstick. I don't know why. And I think once I like the look, yes I do, I'm going to set everything with the setting spray I used before. Alright, gonna one over, gotta dry that real quick. Do I want to add anything? Looking it over, I think I look good, maybe not, I don't know, let me check. No. Okay, so now we're just gonna clean up the piercings a little bit with some makeup wipes. Clean off my ears, because whenever I set my face, my plugs get covered in setting powder, so clean those off, clean off my lips if I need them, and just kind of go from there. Okay, we look good? Yep, we look good. And that is how you do this look. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial makeup video thing. I like doing these. There's branches away from my usual gaming stuff, and you guys seem to like it a lot. So if you want more, please let me know what makeup you want to see, any makeup tips you want to see, put down in the comments, as well as, honestly, anything you want me to do. I'm here to entertain you guys, so whatever you want to see from me, I will gladly do it. But while you're down there, please like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. And also, if you want to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, I do have links in the description to my merch, my Patreon, all my social media where you see more of like my modeling photos with my makeup, more TikToks and everything. So just go follow me on those places as well. You find more of my content, more of me, and we can just build this little spooky community together. But I'm gonna leave this video here. And so as always, I'm Coffin. Stay spooky, stay safe, and I'll see you next video. Bye guys.